Hi and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you how to use the WooBuilder with the Plus Addons for Elementor, and more specifically how to customize your shopping cart page. So I'm going to walk you through all the different steps, all the different options, so that by the end of this tutorial you'll be able to design your own unique and professional looking shopping cart pages. I'm Dave and I'm bringing you this guest tutorial on behalf of the Plus Addons for Elementor, and make sure to subscribe to their channel so that way you won't miss a single update. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Okay, so the very first step is to make sure that our widget is activated, and for this we're going to go to the Plus settings, Plus Widget. In the search box type in Woo, and make sure that this one here, WooCart, is enabled. So basically make sure this toggle switch is turned purple. Click Save, and then we're going to go into Performance, Purge All Cache, OK, and that's it. And now that all our necessary widgets are activated, we can create a new page. So we go into Pages, Add New, and then give it a title, for instance, WooCart. Click Update, and then we can edit with Elementor. And then from here we can insert our elements. So you scroll down all the different tools here, and as you can see at the bottom we have the Plus WooBuilder, and just right here we have WooCart. And then we can drag and drop it on our page, just like that. Or you can go on our demo page, and let me show you right here. There's a very cool feature you can use. So this is the cart demo page. If you go into the copy section, click on this. You can see now it's copied. If we go back to our Elementor page, you can create a new section, and then right click on it, and then click on plus paste. And now you will reproduce the exact same demo on your Elementor page. Now, as you can see here, our cart is empty. So for us to use all the different features here and to be able to tweak around and customize our cart page, we will need to add a product to our cart. So how can we do this from here? Let me show you very simply. So first, let's click Update, and then let's have a quick preview of our page. And as you can see, now we have access to those two products here. So let's add one to the cart. So let's add the man's polo shirt, for instance. So add to cart. We're going to select a size, a color, and a pattern, and then click Add to cart. Now if we close this page and we go back here and we refresh, and now if we scroll down the page, you can see that we have our titles here, we have the product section, we have the coupon, add to cart, update cart, and the totals. So everything is there. So now we can start tweaking and customizing our page. So for this, we click on our section, and as you can see, this is our WooCart widget. And for the layout, we can select among two different options. So we have default or custom. So by default, it will display everything like we have at the moment. Or we can customize it ourselves and decide which items we want to display. So let me open this now and drop down menu. So as you can see, we can select among three different options. We have cart data, cart total, and checkout button. So cart data, basically it's our section here, the product. We have the cart total, which is our amounts here. And then we have the checkout button, which is right here underneath. And if you use the custom feature, you can add more than one WooCart widget on your page. Like for instance, here we have this one, but we also have another one here underneath. So if you wanted to, you could have maybe two elements here and one single one here at the bottom. So for instance, if you wanted only to display the proceed to checkout button here on its own and the rest of the details on this section here, all you have to do is just basically click on this, select custom, remove the data, remove the total, and now all we have is the proceed to checkout button, and then we can do the same for the top section here. So click on this, and from this one we're going to remove the checkout button. And if we scroll down the page, as you can see, it is shipping well already. Now, just bear in mind that if you are using more than one WooCart widget, make sure that you have the three elements on your page which are necessary to proceed to checkout. Now let's go and tweak the appearance of our cart, and for this we're going to Style, And as you can see, we have all these different options here. So we can change literally everything on our page. So we have the product list, which is our title here, and this content. We have the apply coupon here. We have the update cart button. We have the total right here underneath. And then we have the proceed to checkout button. And then the notices and messages as well, and the content background. So let's start with the content background, because this is basically our whole section here. So maybe we can start by adding a background color. So maybe white like this. So this way it will stand out from the background. And then we can add a bit of padding, maybe 40 pixels. As you can see, there's a bit of breathing space all around it now. And then if we keep scrolling down, we can add a border as well. So let's do this. Let's add a solid border, maybe 3 pixels in thickness. And let's make this maybe a bright shade of gray, a bit darker than the background, maybe just like this. And then we can add a border radius as well, so we can have those sharp edges around it. So let's make it maybe 25, just like that. And you can even add a box shadow all around it if you wanted to. So that looks absolutely fine now. So let's go to our next item, so the product list. So the first set of options here is related to our box itself. So if I add a background color, as you can see now, all that section is our product list. So again, here you can add a background color like we just did, and then you can add a border and change the border radius as well. So the usual settings, and you can add a bit of padding as well if you wanted things to be squeezed in a little bit. So let's just remove this color for now, and let's go to the next step. So the next is our table heading. So basically it's the product, price, quantity, and subtotal. And just underneath it, you can see we have the table border as well. So you have a thin line at the moment on top and bottom. So this is basically the options here to do that. So let's say instead of those two thin lines, you'd rather have a colored background. You can just remove this, so none, and add a colored background right here. So maybe we go with a purplish color. And now we can't read our text anymore, so we can tweak the color as well. So we go into heading color, and let's make it white. And as always, if you wanted to tweak the font, you can go into typography and change those settings here. So let's have a look at our next section, which is the product inner table border. So that's basically this thin gray line here at the bottom. And this is why we have 1 pixel here set to the bottom only. And as always, we can change the color if you wanted to. And we can change the thickness as well. So if you want it to be thicker, just like this, go up. And if you want it thinner, bring it down. And as always, you can change the color as well. So let's make it purple again. And then we have the remove item option, which is this one here. If I hover on top, as you can see, it turns red. And the reason is because in hover mode, the background color is set to red. So let's change this color maybe to our purple again. And as you can see, if I hover on top, it will turn purple instead of red. And then underneath it, we have our product image options. And from here, we can change the image size using this slider. So maybe you don't want the image to be this big, maybe a bit smaller, maybe just around this size here. And you can add a border all around it as well if you wanted to, just like that. And you can change the color as always, you know, very easy done as well. And then underneath, we have a product title options and the variation product options. So the product title option is the man's polo shirt, basically. So you can change this. You can change the color if you wanted to, just like this. But let's keep it black for now. And then we have the variation product info option. So this is for variable products only. They will display here. So you can change the typography as well. So maybe you don't want it to be this thick, maybe a bit thinner, just like that. And then maybe the size, you want it to be a bit smaller. So maybe size 12, just like this, would be about perfect. And you can do the same with the product price option, which is basically here. And then we have a product quantity option right here. So basically this applies to this section here. So at the moment, our background color is also white. So let's change this maybe to a grayish color like that. So you can see now this is our section. And as always, you can change the font type and the color, and we can add a border as well. So let's add a solid border, maybe 1 pixels. And let's select maybe a gray color, maybe a darker gray, maybe something like this would be just about perfect. And you can also change the border radius. So let's make it maybe 15 this time instead. So a little bit less rounded. And then finally, we have our product subtotal options. And again, here you can change the font and the font color as well, and the alignment. Now let's take care of our coupon code section here. So apply coupon. And this is divided in two sections. So we have the coupon section here on top, and underneath it we have the apply coupon button option. So let's start with the first half of this section. So first, let's change our background color. So let's make it gray again. So just like this. Let's change our input width just like this here. So this would be just about perfect, maybe 207. Now let's change the width of our button as well to match the other. So the button width is here, so we can slide this, make it a little bit bigger. Now you can see that they are equal height. So the apply button could be maybe a little bit smaller. And now let's go back to the coupon code width, and now we can make it a little bit wider. So we can increase that slightly. So just about here would be just about perfect. Now, as you can see, our coupon code section and the apply coupon button are overlapping each other. Maybe you would prefer them to be separate, in which case you change the margin here to 0, just like that. And now we have two separate elements. Or maybe you want to try something a little bit different. So let's go back to -20. And then we're going to go to our button here and change the border radius. So we're going to unlink this section, put 0 for the left, the top, and 0 for the left. So as you can see now we have a straight line in between, and maybe we can add a dashed border all around our coupon code. And then we can go back to our coupon code option right here and select the border. So we're going to select dashed. We're going to select a thickness of maybe 1, and let's make it black as well, just like this. And now it does look like a coupon code, doesn't it? Well, actually, you can make it maybe a little bit thicker. So maybe 2 pixels, just like this, would be just about perfect. And as always, obviously, you can change the text color and the font type, etc., etc. So next, we have the update cart button here. So this section here. So you can add the padding. So basically, that's all the spacing between the text and the surrounding edges. And then you can change the margin as well. So you can see it's set to 5 at the moment. But if you wanted to reduce this, you can center it with the other button here by changing this value. You can change the width of your button as well by using this slider. So maybe you don't want it to be too big, maybe just about this size. And you can change the font, typography, the color of your font, the background color. So let's keep these as they are at the moment in black. This is fine. And then you can add a border if you wanted to as well, and change the border radius. So it's set to 50 at the moment, and this is why our button is rounded. Next, we have our cart total. So let's click on this. So maybe you want to change the background color to make it stand out. So maybe you can change a color, maybe something, a gray shade like this. It would be absolutely fine. And again, you can add some padding and some margins as well. We can add a border if you want to as well. So let's make it 1 pixels maybe, and a darker gray, maybe just about this shade. And we can change the border radius as well, maybe to 25. And then if we scroll down, you can see we have a heading option. So basically this is this section here, this title. And from here you can change those settings again, you know, everything that's got to do with your typography, the font color, the background color. Even if you wanted to change the background color, you can do that as well. So maybe you want it to be white, just like that. And then you can change your font and font color as well. Now those two sections here at the bottom are related to the amounts and the totals here. And then you can define how you want to align your content. So maybe you want to align it to the left, and maybe the amounts to the right. And then you can change the color of each of those items. So you have the heading. So basically it's those items here. You have the price, which is this, and you have the label color. So this applies to the shipping basically. Now, please be aware that the shipping cost will only display if you use the default mode here and not in custom mode. And then we have our proceed to checkout button. So let me scroll down the page to reveal the button. So it is here, and let's have a look at all our different options here. And then as always, you can change the padding and add some margin. You can align the button maybe to the left, maybe in the middle, or to the right. And you can change the button width as well, just by using this slider here, just like that. So you can make it bigger if you wanted to, or maybe slightly smaller. And then you can change the color as well. So let's make it maybe purple, the same color of the rest of the website. And as always, you can change the border radius and add a border color if you wanted to. And finally, we have our notices and messages. And for this, we're going to enable the backend visibility, just like this. And now you can see our message is showing up on top of our page. And then we can change our background color if you wanted to draw more attention to it, maybe something a bit brighter like yellow. And as always, you can add a border and change the border radius. So at the moment, we have one thin line on top in purple. So you might want to change this. If you put 0 all over, you can see there is no border anymore. And you can add a box shadow as well if you wanted to draw even more attention to it, just like this. And then you can tweak the font of all your different messages. So you have the cart message text. So you can change this maybe to red if you want to draw plenty of attention to it, and even change the font itself. So maybe make it thicker, just like that. Then you have the color of the icon. Same again, you can change the color. And same again with the undo product option, which is here. Maybe you want a different color than the one that's set by default. Now let's have a look at our empty cart section here. And for this, we are going to remove the content of our cart and empty it. And now if we scroll down the page, as you can see, it is displaying this message twice. So we have your cart is currently empty and your cart is currently empty. And the reason being is because we have two WooCart widgets here. So both of them are showing empty. So if you are only using one widget on your page, this will not be an issue. But if you're using more than one widget, there is a solution to this. So what you do, basically, you click on the one that you want to hide. So let's, for instance, this one here, let's say, go to empty cart, and you see this feature that says hide empty cart. If you enable this, there you go. This one will be hidden if your cart is empty. And then you can change the main message here that says your cart is currently empty. So you can type in here anything you want, really. So for instance, oops, your cart is empty. And then you can select what type of empty cart icon you want to display. So you can select among two different options, default and custom. So by default, it will display this icon here, or you can upload your own custom icon. And for this, you can upload your own image by clicking here. And then you can select your file. It will go into your media library. So let's say you wanted to insert this icon here. So bear in mind that this has to be a maximum of 200 by 200 pixels. And the reason being is because this image cannot be resized. So this is very important indeed. So make sure you have the right size image immediately. And then insert media. And as you can see, we now have our custom icon displaying on our page. And then we have a few styling options for our empty cart. So if you click on style, you can see the very first one here is related to our empty cart. So we can change the text and the shop button. So those two items here. So you can change your font using the typography here. So you can select any of those fonts here. So let's say maybe we'll select Poppins. And then you can change the size font as well. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can change the thickness as well. Maybe you want it thicker, or maybe you want it thinner, whichever way. And you can use those different settings here again. And then you can change the font color as well. Maybe you want it to match your button color, just like this. And then you can offset your text position as well. So depending on which icon you're using, you might want to move this around a little bit. So with our icon here, maybe it'll be just perfect right here in between the two. And then we can tweak our return to shop button as well. So we can change the font by using this feature here. And then you can change the width by using this slider. So you can make it wider or maybe narrower depending on your own preferences. And then we can change all the colors in normal mode and hover mode for both the text and our button itself. So let's say for the sake of our tutorial here, we're going to tweak these around. So we're going to put the font color in purple and then our background in white. So this is how easy you can actually change your colors. And then you can even add a border if you wanted to. So you can select among a few different options here. So let's go with the solid one. Let's make it 1 pixel in thickness. And as you can see, we have our surrounding border now, and we can change the color as well. So let's select our purple, just like this. So very nice. And then we have a border radius here. So if we were to set this to 0, as you can see, we now have sharp edges as a rectangle. And if we were to increase that maybe to 25, now we have rounded edges. So the higher the value, the more rounded those edges will be. And then finally, if we go back to our content section in the extra options feature here, we can add a custom icon to all of our different buttons. So the apply coupon, update cart, cart total, and proceed to checkout. So let me show you one option here. So let's say apply coupon. So let's add an icon that's related to money maybe or discount, as you can see, you can click on this link here. It will bring you to the Font Awesome website. So let's click on that. And then from here, you can select among all these different icons. So let's just look for something maybe related to a percentage or discount. So we have this one here. So let's say you want to insert this one, click on it. And what you want to copy and paste is the Unicode. So right here on top, you have Unicode. So highlight this, right click copy, go back to your page and paste it here, starting with a backslash. So backslash and then paste your code afterwards. And as you can see, our icon is displaying next to the apply coupon feature. So there you go, this is how you can implement the WooCart widget on your website, and you will agree that it does add a lot of interest to your web pages. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. Again, my name is Dave, and it was a real pleasure to present this tutorial on behalf of the Plus Addons for Elementor. And make sure to subscribe to their channel so you won't miss out when new videos are being uploaded. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.